Good morning and welcome to NewsWares Trade Talk for Monday, March 30th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps. We're up 0.77%. They've been rising all morning long. That's kind of positive. Markets are continuing to react to the ever-evolving situation in the Middle East. I mean, President Trump did indicate that peace talks with Iran are progressing and that there's a growing alignment on the elements of his 15-point peace plan. That's positive. Sentiment's still cautious because, the U.S. continues to raise up military assets in the region, and they're looking for a possible ground invasion while Iran continues its missile strikes. In terms of economic events going on today, really the key one today is going to be that speech from Jerome Powell as he's scheduled to speak this morning. There could be something there. It is a moderated discussion, but we're thinking that there might be something positive coming out of his comments this morning. The Senate Banking Committee is out there saying that they're planning an April 13th hearing for Kevin Walsh as the next Fed chair. In corporate news, Cisco, is this is the food company, is close to acquiring Restaurant Depot. Pharmaceutical stocks, they're rallying this morning. I mean, there's a wave of drug pipeline updates. In commodity news, we're seeing gains in aluminum stocks as they move higher after Iran reportedly struck key aluminum facilities in the Middle East. Poet, P-O-E-T, that's trading higher after their earnings report. After the bell today, we got Progressive Software, PRGS. When tomorrow morning, we got McCormick, MKC reporting. Take a look over Europe. We're looking at the DAX this morning. The DAX is now higher. It was lower, but it's now higher by 0.24%. Sentiment data for Europe came in weaker than expected. FTSE's up 0.84% due to the strength in energy and mining stocks. And CAC is also positive by 0.31%. In Asia last night, Asia was generally weak. I mean, the Nikkei fell 2.79%, pressured by a weakening yen and rising Japanese bond yields as they're expecting more rate hikes this year. Hong Kong finished lower by about 0.8%. Weakness driven in tech really was a big issue. But in China's markets rose 0.24%, supported by gains in energy stocks. But then we got to look at oil, and oil is, ebbing higher. You got WTI at $100.94 a barrel. That's up 1.3%. You got Brent at $114.82. That's up 2%. Listen, traders are cautious on the aspect of ending this military issue that we're having in Iran. Houthi militants in Yemen said that they're entering the fray. They could conceivably cause issues with maritime transit in the Red Sea, so we got to be a little cautious on that. But oil is continuing to show gains this morning. Okay, now we're taking a look at earnings news this morning, and we're starting off with Poet. I mean, Poet, listen, the stock's trading higher by 1.35% after a positive earnings report. After the bell today, we got Progressive Software, PRGS. Their EPS is $1.57. Expected move is 4.93%. Tomorrow morning, we got MCK, McCormick. Their EPS is 61 cents. Expected move is 4.90%. In terms of economic reports at 10:30 this morning, you get the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Survey. Also at 10:30, that's when Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is going to be participating in that discussion. So that's the one to watch for. And then at 4 p.m., we're going to hear from New York Fed Bank President John Williams. Moving over to FANG stocks, so you got to watch Google. I mean, your YouTube employees admit that their goal was viewer addiction, according to a media report. Meta Platforms is out there. They're getting Morgan Stanley added them to their top picks list. Tesla is expected to deliver Q1 deliveries this week. In terms of Dow Jones 30, Johnson & Johnson reported strong long-term results for their plaque psoriasis drug. Boeing, EU regulators are praising Boeing's oversight over the recent production issues that they had. Amgen Repatha, when used with statins, lower major cardiovascular event by 31%. In terms of buyout news, it's really the big one is this Cisco acquiring Restaurant Depot for a $29 billion deal. That's the big one hitting the tape this morning. Let's see if we see any catalyst calls this morning. Emerson was named a short-term sell idea at Deutsche Bank. AME, Amtech was named a short-term buy idea at Deutsche Bank. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now we're moving on. We're looking for our pick of the day. And you know, it's a hard day to do a pick because, you know, the market is so crazy. But, you know, I'm going to go with Verizon, ticker VZ. I mean, first off, you know, it's one of these stocks that's going to be able to withstand weakness in case weakness sets in. And, you know, but I look at, you know, Friday's action, and I mean, we had 30,000 calls versus 42,000 puts, but the open interest is 579K versus 467K. So it is positive, and the brokers do like the stock, but, you know, it's all about the entry point. And now I think we're going to open up weaker with Verizon today. So, you know, honestly, I'm hoping to get in at a discount. I'm hoping to get in under, you know, low 50s, like $50 is kind of my target entry price. Thinking that it could easily move up to 15.5 before the end of the day. So that's my pick of the day, Verizon, ticker VZ. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the stocks that are hitting the tape this morning, see if we see anything exciting. Trump's in serious talks with new regime. Cisco to acquire Restaurant Depot for $29.1 billion. Merck, Lilly, Boston Scientific, Bristol Myers, all coming out with drug updates in their pipeline today. Schumer called 60-day DHS funding bill at current levels would be dead on arrival in the Senate. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, now we're moving on, and we're going to go take a look at our pick of the day, which was Progressive PRGS from Friday. I mean, first off, the stock's trading up about 0.8% this morning. You know, it opened up weak. Grabbed the 1%, then fell off. That's really what happened on Friday. And then it traded lower throughout the rest of the day. But it wasn't a bad pick. It just was okay. In a bad day, Progressive did at least eke out that gain. All right, traders, that concludes today's podcast for Monday, March 30th. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.